This is a basic summary of what I'll call joint synergy, the idea that you can meditate in dynamic activities. Okay, so I'm making a simple summary of something which I've explained at length elsewhere. So the idea of meditation is very, very good. And meditation can be really good for you. Thousands of studies have shown that it helps you on a physical, physiological, mental level to be healthier in your life, in your physical body, in your mind, in your energy levels, the health of your internal organs. It's also that meditation and people who do meditation has shown to help the activities of your daily life, including making you a better partner, a better worker, a better parent, a better spouse. You know, it makes your job easier to do, etc., when you're a person who meditates. So what is meditation? Well, the reason why many people don't meditate is because they're not doing it right. Because you see, real meditation is not just sitting in an uncomfortable position, getting bored, numb, and cold. But many people will try meditation and go, this is boring, this is just making me cold. This is not meditation. Meditation is the ability to be able to do something which looks boring, but you stay excited. Something which could make you cold, like sitting in the snow naked, but you still stay warm. Meditation is a place which has 5 essential features, which let me quickly state, and then maybe you can see how we can try and find them, both in the static posture and the dynamic posture. So meditation has to have the features of 1, sustainability, 2, engagement, 3, it must be calming, 4, it must feel effortless, and 5, the meditative state must encourage blood flow easily. So when I say these 5 things, sustainability, engagement, calmness, effortlessness, and invigoration or blood flow, I can go into depth and explain a little bit more. So if I want to say a meditative activity, it could be a stationary activity, sitting on a chair, sitting sort of simply on a chair. Always make sure your knees are below the hips if you're sitting. So you could sit on the floor, but if you're sitting on the floor for meditation, if you're sitting with your knees higher than your hips, that's not going to help you because blood can't flow up, it flows down. So what you want is to sit in some sort of position where you're, like in this position here, now my knees are lower than my hips, you can see. But for most people, this is not comfortable. It's a good meditative position for me. My knees are below my hips, but you can see I'm sitting on my ankle. And that wouldn't be good for someone who's, say, got someone who's menstruating or someone who's pregnant, because I'm stimulating spleen 6 and spleen 9. Another position for meditation is Siddhasana, which has the soles of the feet pushed between the calves and the thigh, like this. And in that position, you actually sit on your heel and you've got your knees slightly below the hips. It looks like a simple cross-legged, but as you can see, I'll turn sideways, my legs are locked. Now it's different to a lotus position. So a lotus position is like that. But notice, I can bring my legs in lotus the same way I cross my arms. But if you had to pull your legs into lotus like this, already it means you're too stiff for lotus. Don't do lotus, don't do siddhasana unless your feet can come there by themselves. Otherwise you just end up numb. And if there's numbness in your legs, you haven't got blood flow and you haven't got nerve function. And I always remind myself of this story of this Hungarian martial artist about maybe 7 years ago. It was in the Hungarian newspapers, who got drunk on a train, put himself in a lotus posture, fell asleep, and then had to have his legs both amputated because the blood loss to the legs and the nerve dysfunction was so great. Be careful about doing any position which will make your legs numb. So what's the best option? Well, most people are too stiff to sit on the floor and meditate. Of course, you can sit on the floor for a few minutes. If you've done it all your life, it's a different story. But if you've spent years traveling in cars, buses, trains, sitting at desks at school and work, then the best place you can meditate for stationary work is on a chair. So I'm using these bricks as my chair, but I could use a normal chair. Don't let your back rest against the back of the chair. Ideally, keep away from the back of the chair. Another way to meditate in a stationary posture is in a standing position with your knees slightly bent and the hips drop down. And so you've got the length in the lower back especially, length in the front of the hips especially, because normally sitting on chairs makes this work. Make length come between the shoulder blades, length come in the back of the neck, and also length come to your fingertips. It's important to lengthen because when you lengthen your body, blood flows to the lengthened area, the same way that if I take my hands and pull my hands apart, there's a suction. And that suction will make air come into the space. So when I pull my hands apart, when I lengthen the space between my hands, there is a suction that pulls air between my hands. So if you lengthen any part of the body, that will promote blood flow to that part because it creates a type of suction. What also creates a type of suction is relaxation. So when you relax any part of the body, blood flows toward that part. If you tense any part of the body, blood is pushed away from that part. And if you've tensed a majority of your body, blood just won't flow. The only thing that will make blood flow will then be things like heart rate increasing. And even that sometimes isn't enough. And the more the heart rate increases, the more you promote stress. So what we want is the first stage of creating meditation is to lengthen and relax. But that will be something you can do either when you're stationary or when you're moving. So let's just work on it when we're stationary. So if you're stationary, it could be stationary sitting on the floor, on a chair, or standing like this. So you can do standing like me or sitting if you wish. And what I'd like you to do first is bend the knees slightly so you've got a bit more length at the front of the knees. Lengthen the lower back by dropping the hips. Lengthen the front of the hips. Length between the shoulder blades. Length all the way to your fingers. Lengthen the back of the neck. And make the back lengthen with the top of your hips back, ribs back, chin in, neck back. Then make the front of your body lengthen equally as the back by expanding belly, chest, and moving your throat forward, chin up slightly. So the front of your trunk and neck is as long as the back of your trunk and neck. Lengthen all the way to the tips of the fingers, widening the shoulders and relaxing your throat. Drop the hips and move the front of the hips forward to open the front of the hips. Now lengthen and relax. Where are you going to relax? There's several ways of doing this, but the way I find is the most useful is to relax 5 key areas. And these 5 areas you can focus on with me. Number 1, relax your arms. Number 2, relax your neck. Number 3, relax your pelvis, all the way, the lower limbs really, pelvis all the way to the toes. Number 3, relax your waist. And number 4, relax your face. Now, of course, I could relax the entire body, but the relax is not just relax muscles. It's feel relaxed on the inside. And the reason why I'm saying these 5 places is because within these 5 places, there are 12 what we call bridges between conscious and unconscious. A bridge is a place that the body can control both consciously with the somatic or conscious nervous system, and it can also be controlled by the unconscious or automatic or autonomic nervous system. So things like this include the diaphragm, the salivary apparatus, your blinking reflex, because all these things you can do. You can control breathing into the abdomen with your diaphragm. You can control blinking. You can control making saliva. But sometimes these things happen by itself. You breathe diaphragmatically while you're asleep, not conscious. You breathe when you blink sometimes when something pushed in front of your face. Your saliva comes when food is presented to you. So conscious and unconscious are 2 things normally which are separate. So normal conscious activities include things like bending the elbow. You can choose to bend your elbow, but if you don't do anything for a while, it's unlikely the elbow will bend by itself. It's a conscious activity. Then there's also things like your blood vessels, your arteries, have got muscles around them. And those muscles, if they constrict, will narrow your blood vessels. If they expand, will expand the blood vessels. Your heart is another muscle which will contract and expand. And you have very little control over these muscles. I can't just say to myself, expand blood vessels, constrict blood vessels, because they're under automatic or autonomic control. They're in my subconscious control, my unconscious control. So there is conscious muscles, there's unconscious muscles. And so how do you access your unconscious? One way of doing it is by accessing the muscles or the places in the body which have dual control, which can be accessed both consciously and unconsciously. One of these places is the diaphragm. You see, many people often tell you that breathing is the bridge between body and mind, or breathing is the link between conscious and unconscious. But it's not the breathing, it's specifically your diaphragm. So your diaphragm is a place which you can control consciously and unconsciously. That's why I'm suggesting relax around your abdomen. Also around the face, there are 5 specific places which you have dual control. One is the salivary apparatus, another is the jaw, another is the lips, another is the blinking apparatus of the eyes, another is the eye moving muscles that move your eyes up, down, left, right. And so then around the hips, there's also 4 places. The legs themselves, all the way from hips to toes, are under unconscious control and conscious control, surprisingly, but also is the pelvic floor, front, back, middle. And then, so when we relax the hips, I'll say relax the pelvic floor like you're about to go to the toilet, but not. Release it. Obviously, if you have a pelvic floor problem, don't release it too much, but just release it a little bit if you can. Most people hold that part too tense. If your aim is to do with specific pelvic floor exercises to tighten the pelvic floor, sure, that's okay sometimes if you need it, but my suggestion is between every contraction, you do a relaxation. For this practice, just relax the pelvic floor. The next thing we can also do is focus on relaxing the arms. Now, the arms are a place which have a bridge between conscious and unconscious, so does the neck. So it's important to release the arms, and one of the best way of doing this is by moving your fingers and rolling your shoulders. Best way to release the neck is to move your neck. So let's go back to these 5 places. It recognizes that within these 5 basic places of relaxing the body, there is the entrance to 12 bridges between conscious and unconscious. And once you learn how to do them, you might still have muscles active to hold you in a particular posture or activity or do an exercise. But internally, the body becomes more relaxed. So come into your seated or standing static meditative posture. And I'm going to use standing with my knees bent and my hands rested by the side. Seated or standing, bend the knees slightly if you're standing and drop the sitting bones down with the top of the hips back, lengthen the lower back. Ribs back, lift and lengthen the upper back. Belly expanded. Move the weight toward the front of the feet, open the front of the hips. Push your shoulders apart. Relax your throat and lengthen all the way to the tips of your fingers, even if you're sitting like that. And then lengthen the back of the neck with head down, neck back. And expand the belly, chest, throat forward, chin up, so front and back of the body is lengthened. Now, once again, relax your arms. How? Move your fingers, keep them lengthened. Stop the fingers. Roll your shoulders, just a gentle bit. Stop them. Now relax your neck. You can just think of it, or you can gently move the chin back and forth like no, up and down like yes, or in a circle clockwise or anti-clockwise, or better still, figure 8. One clockwise, one anti-clockwise. Not big, which causes stretch and problem and risk, but gentle, tiny stretch. Gentle, tiny movement from your throat or your chin, a little figure 8 infinity sign. Now relax your hips or your pelvis or all the way through the legs, and we do that by gently moving the pubic bone in a little circle, or the lower back in a little circle, or feeling the weight go from the heel to the toes and letting your toes spread and gently grip a little bit so you move your toes. And that's important. So you release the pelvic floor, especially. Release the pelvic floor like about to go to the toilet. Sounds funny, I know, but make it almost about to urinate, but not. Almost about to defecate, but not. Genitals, contemplate. Relax your genitals. Perineum relaxed. Okay, now let's focus on relaxing the waist. So the waist is your lower back and your abdomen. So don't unsquash the lower back. Bend the knees a bit. Drop the hips like a weight on a string, which is your spine. Lengthen and relax the lower back muscles. Then especially relax your abdominal muscles. Let them go soft. Like a baby's belly, like a Buddha belly. It's no coincidence that the king of meditators was the Buddha. His belly was relaxed, not fat. Buddha was relaxed, not fat. And it's no coincidence that children walk around with a little belly, pot belly like this. When you pick a child up, notice the abdomen goes rock hard. When you put the child down, belly goes soft again. You don't need to keep it tight all day long, in other words. Let your belly relax, especially for meditative practice. But more important than relax is to check you can breathe into your abdomen. So if you relax and drop your hips, put your hand on the chest, hand on the abdomen, breathe into the abdomen, let the belly expand and soften, then let the air go out passively. Breathe like you are when you're asleep. And so periodically, when I say relax your waist, check, can you breathe into your abdomen? You can even do it while your abdomen is firm. And one way to do this is to lengthen the back of the body, move the hips forward and lean back, keeping the collarbone lifted. Feel how this will make your abdomen firm, but if you relax, the abdomen is still firm on the front, possibly soft on the side. Mine is always soft on the side when I do this. And if yours is not, it probably means you're too tense. And then breathe into the abdomen. I can feel I can breathe into the abdomen, but my abdomen is firm, but I'm calm. So it's possible to have a firm abdomen, but still feel calm. In other words, relaxation of muscles is not the key to relaxation. It's the ability to control the muscles, especially that link with your subconscious, these places I'm telling you about. So now the next place to relax is your face. So you could think relax your face or go more specific. Move your tongue a bit, make saliva swallow it. Move your jaw a bit, gently, like chewing or like masticating food. Move your lips a bit, like articulating some words. Blink a few times. Then make your eyes go up, down, left, right. In fact, move in a circle, clockwise or anti-clockwise. And this can help you relax. When you're asleep, after all, your eyes are looking up. So if you open the eyes of a sleeping person, you can't even see their eyes. Learn to do that consciously. It's a real secret to re-establishing an internal connection of relaxation. So we do this in every position. So you could apply even in yoga classes or any postural activity. You could do any position and relax. So in some simple spinal movements, for example, even postures such as balancing on one leg, like this, for example. This posture looks very simple, like a dancer position. Could be this one. Like that. This is the ultra simple version of doing something like that. This is a very commonly taught yoga posture. But when I do it like that, it's much easier. Do it like that, it looks like a dancing Shiva. Do it like this, it looks even easier. But one way of meditating in this position is to adopt your version of the pose. Could be this one, could be this one, could be this one. And then in the version that you're in, and I'll choose this one, I think lengthen and relax. So I lengthen my fingers, check they can move. Shoulders apart, check they can roll. Lengthen my neck, check it can move. Lengthen around my pelvic floor, push the sitting bones apart, relax the pelvic floor. Move the hips perhaps and the toes. Then lengthen my lower back and breathe into my abdomen, or maybe make the abdomen roll. Then relax the face by moving saliva, tongue, jaw, lips, blink. Come back down. Instantly you get hot. Try the other side if you wish. Your version, either simple, harder, or in the middle like me. We go once again. Focus on lengthen and relax. So lengthen, fingers, check they can move. Shoulders apart, check they can roll. There's your arms relaxed. Now lengthen the neck, head down, neck back, throat forward, chin up. And check the neck is free, neck is relaxed. Touch the floor if you can't balance. Then, third one, relax around the pelvis. You can move the hips, the toes, maybe expand the pelvic floor. Then the waist, drop the hips, lengthen lower back, breathe into the abdomen or roll the abdomen. Then, relax the face. Move your lips, your jaw, blink, make saliva, move your eyes, come back down. Instantly you get heat, especially these active positions. But if you want to get that if you're in a seated meditative position. But what really moves blood in a seated meditative position is usually things like breath control and thought control. If you think of any part of the body, it's going to move blood to that part. So by systematically going through your body and thinking, relax arms, relax neck, relax hips, relax waist, relax face, that very attention to think about that part not only helps you relax because you're focusing on relaxing that part, but it also helps blood move the body. It also helps the body move blood through it because the movement of that part helps move blood. And also the actual thinking of that part brings blood to it because thought of a part of a body will bring blood to it anyway. Very, very useful system. Now that you've understood this system of how to meditate in static postures, can you meditate in movement? So to meditate in movement, the important thing to work with first is the concept of what I'll call joint synergy. And so this joint synergy is the understanding that energy does not flow if you go back and forth in straight lines. Energy flows in curved circles, infinity signs, and more smooth flowing way. So for example, if I'm on these mats, which are the shape of a cross, if I go back and forth like this, if I'm driving a car, I accelerate and brake. Accelerate backwards and brake. And you know that if you were doing that in a car, it would be jarring on the body. You'd feel your back and front stop. You get a bit of whiplash. And it's energy expensive. It costs a lot of brake, costs a lot of accelerator and fuel. The same thing would happen if you went back and forth, forward and back on your mat like this. You'd be using a lot of brake and accelerator, wasting energy and jarring the body. But if instead of moving linearly, you moved in a circular fashion, the circular movements will actually improve the flow of blood and energy. So when you're actually moving in a car going in a circle, you don't need to use your accelerator, you don't need to use your brake, and you can feel the centripetal forces moving around the body. And so by moving the body in circular fashion, you start to move energy and good information, good energy and loving information through your body. You'll be able to enhance blood flow without your heart racing. Very important. So we do this in different parts of the body, and I'll go through the different parts of the body smoothly, and you get the idea. So there's 4 stages of it. Let's start with the shoulders. The shoulder blades can go up, down, back, forth, back, forth. Don't go the whole way. I'm not stretching all the way forward, all the way back. I'm about 70% movement, 50 to 70%. So I'm only going this far, but I could go much further. I don't. I want to avoid stretch. First stage is called the musculoskeletal phase, and that's what I've done there. Gone back and forth like I walked back and forth on the mats. Now I go second stage of this joint synergy, fluid movement. I go forward, downward, backward, upward, forward, downward, backward, upward, and I make a circle. And this circle now is called my fluid stage. I'm just rotating my shoulders. The second stage of my joint synergy. Now to make the third stage of my joint synergy, I apply the principles of meditation. The principles of meditation will be lengthen and relax. So I lengthen my fingers, but check they can move. Push the shoulders apart, but check they can move, and they are moving already, so I don't worry about them. But I've relaxed my arms, haven't I? Now I have to relax the neck. First lengthen the front and back of neck equally, and then check the neck can move. Then I lengthen around the hips, so I push the sitting bones toward the feet, relax the pelvic floor, and let my hips move a little bit as well. And I don't do more than once. I move my fingers first, stop the fingers, then move my shoulders. Stop the shoulders, then move my neck. Stop the neck, then move the hips. In the beginning, one at a time is better. Then from there, I think relax the pelvic floor as well. Relax the pelvic floor. Now, relax the waist. So you drop the hips a bit, lengthen the lower back, and breathe into the abdomen. Or roll the abdomen. Now I relax the face. Relax the face. Could be just relax the face. Or I go make saliva. Move your jaw, your lips, your tongue, your eyes blink, and your eyes roll. And then stop. And then what this does is it moves blood through the body. Plus, the more you relax, the more you start to notice the body starts to move more freely. Because if you're tense, make the body very, very tense, and then roll the shoulders, everything is stiff and tense. The more you relax and let the body be a bit floppy, and that comes with what we did just then, as the shoulders go forward, it makes your trunk go forward. When the shoulders go back, it makes your trunk bend back. So once you do this third stage of relax in flow, fluid relaxation, then you start to observe that the shoulder movement affects the trunk movement. And the trunk is the biggest expression of our core. And the core of our bodies, between pubic bone and navel, inside, between the top of the hips and tailbone, inside, between pelvic floor and diaphragm, inside. So you make your core move. So when we move the shoulders forward, it lengthens the back of the core. Shoulders back expands the front of the core. Now this you let happen. And in this way then, your shoulder movements can actually be massaging your core. Why is that a good thing? Well, because the core contains in it all the muscles that move our trunk. It also contains around it the enteric nervous system, which is our action brain. It's our gut brain. It's a large plexus of nerves, bigger in size than parasympathetic or sympathetic, bigger in size than the nerves inside the spinal cord, and bigger in size than a cat's brain. So moving the enteric nervous system by moving the shoulders back and forth can really be helpful for your nervous system. Then the fourth thing is around the core, there is the immune system. 80% of the structures of the immune system lie around the core. And so by moving your shoulders back and forth, you're massaging your immune system. And in that region, of course, is digestive system and reproductive system. So by moving the shoulders, it's massaging your core and bringing fresh blood, manipulation, massage to your internal organs, which help you with health, happiness, and longevity. This is very important. So this shoulder moving and relaxing is a really important way to get internal health. But now there's a fourth stage of this joint synergy. First stage, musculoskeletal linear movement. Second stage, fluid movement. Third stage, relaxed fluid movement that allows the shoulders or the joint you're playing with to move the core. Then the fourth stage is reverse engineer the process. So instead of using your shoulders to move the core, recognize all movement should have started from the core. And so then before your shoulders move, make the core move in the direction it would have moved anyway once the shoulders moved. I.e., we know that shoulders forward will make the spine bend forward, which makes your lower back lengthen. We know that shoulders backward will make the spine bend backward, makes the front of the core expand. So before your shoulders move, round out the lower back, let the shoulders go forward. Before your shoulders go back, expand the belly, chest, let your shoulders go back, like a wave. Round out lower back, upper back, shoulders forward. Expand belly, chest, shoulders back. Round out lower back, upper back, shoulders forward. And if you bring your hips up and down at the same time, you get the same shoulder rolling action, but it's happening from the core. And as you're doing it, relax your arms, relax your neck, relax your hips and pelvic floor, relax your waist, breathe naturally into the abdomen, let the air out by itself, and relax your face. These 5 key regions in their deeper form if you wish. And notice you get warm, and it's a meditative practice. You could go much slower than I'm doing now is fine. Much slower would be fine. Even one circle every 12 seconds is a great way of doing it. But focus on totally being relaxed, not stretching, not tensing, being natural. It's a gentle, dynamic, meditative practice. Good, like this. It can be done the other way as well, but one way is enough. Let's now do the same thing with our hips. Let's do it with our hips. So with our hips, standing or sitting, you can bend the knees a little bit, and you can make the hips, knees a bit bent, hips go forward over toes, hips go backward over heels. Pubic bone over toes, lower back, backward over heels. So if you take your hands on the top of the hips, then the lower back is just below the top of the hips. The pubic bone is the bone below the navel. So the pubic bone's below the lower back. So what I want you to do is go pubic bone forward, lower back backward. Now go hips up, so the knees are almost straight, just above the center of the feet. And then hips down, also above the center of the feet, but you've got your knees more bent. So don't straighten the knees fully with this. So up, down is linear. Forward, backward is linear. First stage of the joint synergy movements. Second stage is circular, fluid. So we go hips down in the middle between your toes and heels. Lower back goes backward and up slightly above your heels. Now, lower back goes forward and up slightly above the middle of your feet. Now, pubic bone down and forward over the front of your toes. Then lower back above the middle of your feet, and we're at the start again. Go lower back backward and up above your heels. Forward and up above the middle of your feet, pubic bone down and forward over your toes, and lower back above the heels again. So make a circle like this. So as you're doing it, you're going backward and up from the lower back and forward and down from the pubic bone. And as you're doing this, focus and relax the 5 regions. So as you're doing it, check fingers can move and the shoulders can roll. Arms relaxed. Then check the neck is relaxed. You might move your neck. Check your pelvis is relaxed. So to relax the pelvis, relax the pelvic floor, move the hips, feel the toes open and close perhaps. Then relax your waist. Drop the hips so the lower back is lengthened and breathe naturally into the abdomen. Or let the abdomen roll if comfortable. Now relax your face. Make saliva. Move the jaw, the lips, blink a few times, and eyes roll. Good. Now, this 4th stage, which is moving from the core, is now recognizing that when you move the hips backwards, it makes you bend forward. Moving the hips forward makes you bend backward. So make that happen before you move your hips. So in other words, if I want to move my hips backward, it's going to make me bend forward. So make the core lengthenings behind before you bring the hips back. So I go round out the lower back, move the hips backward and up. And before my hips go forward, I know it's going to make my front lengthen, so I expand my belly and chest before moving my hips forward. And so I go round out lower back, hips backward and up, belly, chest, expand, hips forward. Round out lower back, backward and up, expand the belly, chest. And so now the core is moving before my hips. Now, there's a later stage to this. And the later stage is that the core isn't just the lower back or the pubic bone. Actually, the core is a structure which not only can go short, long, forward, backward, side, side, twist, twist, which are 4 main dimensions, but the 5th dimension of the core is expansion, contraction. So when the lower back moves backwards, actually the core moves backwards, will pull the lower abdomen in. So before I take my lower back backward, pull the lower abdomen in. And before my core goes forward, I let my belly go out. So actually what I want as the more advanced stage is lower abdomen in, lower back goes back, belly expand, pubic bone forward, lower abdomen in, belly, lower back goes back, lower abdomen in, belly goes back, lower abdomen in, lower back goes back, belly out, hips go forward. And so that works better. Same with the shoulders. Before the shoulders go forward, I round out my lower back. But before I round out my lower back, I pull my lower abdomen in. So it's lower abdomen in, lower back, back, upper back, back, shoulders forward. Pubic bone down, expand belly, chest. Then lower abdomen in, lower back, back, upper back, back, shoulders forward. In other words, the core movement starts in the lower abdomen before the lower back moves. That's advanced. You can work towards it. The tip for this, and you'll find it easier to work with it, if you appreciate that the lower abdomen will learn to go in this rolling-like way if you shift the weight toward the front of the feet. So first of all, recognize that when I'm pulling my lower abdomen in, you can see from the side, that's this. You see my lower is in, my upper is out, and it's soft. This is my fully relaxed abdomen. Now this is the lower, still relaxed. I can make upper in, lower is relaxed. And even when I make lower abdomen, upper is relaxed and out, lower is relaxed and in. So I'm always keeping the abdomen relaxed when I'm controlling these muscles called transversus abdominis. It's important to appreciate that the control of these rolling muscles called transversus abdominis are muscles which will constrict your waist and move the core, but they don't make it hard. This takes some time to control, so a couple of tricks you can use are, we'll try and contract the lower abdomen. So let's do it in 2 ways. One way is just try standing normally, pulling the lower abdomen. How's your success rate? Let's see if we can improve the success of pulling in the lower abdomen by bending the knees and shifting the weight to the front of the feet. Now try and pull the lower abdomen. Most people find it easier. Now release it, bring the weight onto your heels. Try and pull the lower abdomen. Most people find it harder. It may not be the case for you. I'm just saying what most people find, and there's scientific papers suggesting this. Next thing is relax again, middle of the feet. Try and pull in the lower abdomen normally. Release it. The more you practice it, the easier it gets, by the way. Remember, it must be lower abdomen in, but you must still feel relaxed and still be able to breathe in the abdomen, even though the lower abdomen is in. See, I've got my lower abdomen in, upper abdomen out and soft, but I can breathe in my abdomen without moving my chest. Okay? If you feel that when you breathe in your abdomen, chest moves, this is not abdominal breathing, this is not diaphragmatic breathing, this is chest breathing. So think about it. Okay, so now, one of the other ways you can make the lower abdomen come in is by triggering it with a pelvic floor contraction. So start normal, try and pull the lower abdomen in, release it. Now, before doing anything else, tighten your pelvic floor. How? Like trying to stop a diarrhea attack or something like that. Stop yourself urinating, stop the diarrhea attack. Constrict it, now try and pull the lower abdomen. Usually that's easier. Okay? Relax the pelvic floor, pull the lower abdomen, it's a bit harder for most people. Now expand the pelvic floor. Push out the anus and the urethra as if about to urinate, but not. Now try and contract lower abdomen, harder still. So what's the lesson here? Well, you could actually practice very slowly the roll that I'm doing like this. This roll can be done in the following way. 3 steps to contract, 3 steps to relax. 1, contract pelvic floor. 2, pull in lower abdomen. 3, upper abdomen. Then to release. 1, expand pelvic floor. 2, expand lower abdomen. 3, expand upper abdomen. 1, contract anus, urethra, like stopping defecation, urination. 2, pull in lower abdomen. 3, pull in upper abdomen. Then the releasing. 1, expand pelvic floor. 2, expand lower abdomen. 3, expand upper abdomen. So we go 1, 2, 3, contract. 1, 2, 3, expand. 1, 2, 3, contract. 1, 2, 3, expand in your own time. And you can practice this, generally much slower than I'm doing now. That's one way. But for most people, as soon as they contract the abdomen, this happens. So as soon as they contract the anus, the face tenses up. So better still, my suggestion is take advantage of what I've just told you. And know that if you're moving your hips, when the weight goes towards your toes, the lower abdomen wants to go in anyway. Take advantage of it. And when you bring the weight over your heels, expand the pelvic floor, and that releases it. So my suggestion is make the hip circle, for example, like this, and go weight over heels, up into the middle, then weight down over toes, down in the middle, up over the heels, up in the middle, down over the toes, down further in the middle. And so as we're doing this, weight over toes, lower abdomen goes in. Weight over heels, expand the pelvic floor. Then go weight over toes, expand the pelvic floor over the heels. Weight over toes, expand the pelvic floor over the heels, and just focus on oscillating between weight over toes and expanding the pelvic floor when the weight goes over the heels. Most of the things I'm asking you to do, you're only going to be able to do one thing at once. And until you've learned an activity, don't try to do 2 or 3 activities at once. But gradually, once you practice these things enough, all of these things have really good benefit. But the trick is let them work one at a time until your body's learnt them and they become second nature to you. Then you start to join them together. All right, so let's do a couple of these movements. Let's move the upper arms. So let's move the upper arms. And generally, when we're moving in 2 planes, like shoulders forward and back, shoulders up and down, the fluid motion is a circular motion. But in some places, there's 3 things moving together, in which case it becomes a figure 8. So with the upper arms, go forward and backward, flexion and extension. Go outward and inward, abduction, adduction. And then go turn in, turn out, internal, external rotation. This is the musculoskeletal stage 1 of the joint synergy. Good musculoskeletal work. It's helpful to check range of motion, may improve function, but it doesn't help energy. To help energy, we make stage 2 the fluid phase. So one version of this, and it can be done in always at least 2 ways. Turn the shoulders out. Now go forward and outward. Turn the shoulders in, come back to the midline, then go backwards and outwards. Turn the shoulders out, come back to the midline, go forward and out. Turn the shoulders in, back to the midline, backward and out. Turn the shoulders out, come back to the midline, then forward and out. Turn the shoulders in, go back to the midline, go backward and out, and continue. And if you're doing this, it will look as if your fingers are making the shape of figure 8s. You're drawing a little figure 8 with your arms, and make it softer and slower and more relaxed. So this second stage is called the fluid phase. Can we make the third stage relax? How are we going to relax? Relax your arms. And you can do that better if you move your fingers a bit first. Then let your shoulders rise and fall a bit. Now relax your neck. You can think relax your neck, or you can do it better if you just move the neck a bit up or down. Maybe a figure 8. Now relax your hips. So to do that, let the hips move a bit. Feel the weight go from back and forth over your toes to your heels a bit. Relax the pelvic floor. Now relax your waist, means drop the hips, let the lower back lengthen, and breathe naturally into the abdomen. And now this movement makes a lot more warmth, because now you've got rid of the tension, you've accessed your unconscious, and so blood's going to flow a lot easier while you're focusing on calmness. Now also what you notice at this point is that the movements will make your trunk move. Arms going forward makes you want to bend backward. Arms going backward makes you want to bend forward. So now move to the 4th stage, where you reverse engineer it and make it so before your arms go forward, which makes you bend backward, you bend backwards. Before your arms go backward, which makes you bend forward, you bend forward. So I go expand the belly, bring the arms forward. Round out the lower back, bring the arms back. Fourth stage. Expand the belly, chest, arms forward. Round out lower back, upper back, bring the arms back. And you continue, leading from the core. And in the first stage, keep your abdomen relaxed. But for the more advanced people, recognize that the core is inside, between the belly and the lower back, in which case, before you bring your lower back backwards and before you bring the arms back, bring the lower abdomen in first, lower back second, arms back third. Expand the belly first, hips forward second, arms forward third. Lower abdomen in first, lower back second, and then arms third. And so that way the core, including the lower abdomen, moves before your arms. First lower abdomen, then the trunk, and then the arms. And this is the fourth stage of this joint synergy, which makes a big difference. All right. Next one. Then we can move the elbows. So the elbows can either bend or straighten, pronate, supinate. Palm down, pronate, supinate, palm up, and straighten and bend up, down like this. If you do it smoothly, bend, straighten, it takes energy. Bend, palm down, palm up. It's linear. It's musculoskeletal therapy on the arms. Can help, but it's not going to give energy. It takes energy. Now combine the movements and make a smooth flow. Go palm down, straighten, palm up, bend. Palm down, straighten, palm up, bend, and straight away you feel the difference. This gives energy. This starts to give energy in a different way. So these movements then you'll start to feel become energizing and make you warm. So now, having understood the musculoskeletal phase, transition to the fluid phase, now can you do the relaxing third phase? So while doing it, relax your arms by moving the fingers first. Stop the fingers, now move the shoulders a little bit up and down, good. Now relax the neck. Relax the neck inside, maybe move the neck a little bit. Up, down, side to side, maybe a little figure eight if it's comfortable. Thirdly, relax around the hips and let the hips go up and down, maybe a little circle. Relax the pelvic floor. Feel the toes expand and contract a little bit. Now forget the hips, focus on the waist. Relax around your waist. Drop the hips, feel skin lengthen in the lower back. And breathe naturally to the abdomen, or you can make the abdomen roll as comfortable for you. Good. Fifth thing, relax the face. You can just relax the face, but if you want to, make saliva. Swallow, move your jaw, your lips, your eyes, blink, eyes roll. Now recognize that hands going down makes you bend forward, hands going up makes you bend back. You're observing in this third stage how the relaxed movements make your core move. So now transition to fourth stage. We know what the arms do to the core, so make the core do it first. So we go hands down makes you bend forward. Hands up makes you bend back. So in that case, round out lower back before the hands go forward. Expand the belly before the hands go up. Round out lower back, upper back, then the hands forward. Expand belly, chest, and the hands up. And make this happen. It's enough for most people just to do that much if you've got to this stage. But for the ones who are adept with their lower abdomen, recognize the lower abdomen is the front of the core. So before the hands go down, before the lower back goes back, make it so 1, lower abdomen in, 2, lower back, back, 3, hands down. Then coming up 1, expand pelvic floor, lower abdomen, then bring the arms up. Lower abdomen in, lower back, back, hands down, and continue. So you're moving your lower abdomen in before the lower back goes back. And that way now the core leads the body. And the energetic change is significant. Now you're one with your activity because your brain in the head is joining with the brain inside your gut. Now subject, brain, and object, gut, become one. This is the Indian definition of samadhi. When object and subject become one, this is the ultimate state of meditation. If you can do this in your body and make yourself move from your core, this becomes a dynamic yogic state, a samadhi state. Okay, lovely. Now the wrists. Let's move the wrists. So your palms open, go wrist flex, wrist extend, wrist flex, wrist extend. Fingers away from you, fingers towards you, fingers away, fingers toward. Musculoskeletal linear phase, stage 1. Stage 2, fluid phase. Keep the forearm still, but go fingers towards you, fingers away. So we go fingers towards you, fingers towards each other, fingers towards you, fingers away from each other, fingers away from you, fingers towards each other, fingers towards you, fingers away from each other, fingers away from you. And then continue making a circle-like movement. If you're not moving your forearm, it's just a plain rigid circle. But it doesn't take long before you realize that your forearm wants to move. If you relax, your forearm wants to move. And then you realize that actually when the forearm is allowed to move, a third component to the movement makes it more of a figure 8 type movement like that. Let it happen. So what you want to do then is move into this third phase of the fluid movement, of the joint movement. 1 was linear back and forth. 2 is the fluid circles. 3 is relax. So to relax your fingers, check the fingers can move. Relax your shoulders, check they move. That's your arms relaxing. Now relax the neck on the inside, and maybe let the neck move a bit. Now relax the hips, let the hips go up and down. Let the hips go forward and back. Feel the toes open, close. Let the hips relax around the pelvic floor. 4, relax your waist by having the knees always a little bit bent so your lower back lengthens, and breathing naturally into the abdomen, or letting the abdomen gently, softly roll if it's comfortable for you. And number 5 is relax the face. You could just relax it, or saliva, jaw, lips, blink, inner eyes roll. Lovely. Then release. Now you can also do it with your fingers. The joint synergy with the hands is like this. Palms open, palms closed, palms open, palms closed is musculoskeletal. But if you stand at an imaginary piano and play a piano in your mind's eye. So you go thumb down first, then second finger down, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger. Then thumb up, first finger up, second finger up, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger. So go thumb 2, 3, 4, 5 down, thumb up 2, 3, 4, 5, thumb down 2, 3, 4, 5, thumb up 2, 3, 4, 5, and continue like playing an imaginary piano. And now while doing this, focus on relaxing. Relax your arms, relax your neck, relax your hips, relax your waist, relax your face. So you relax the arms, but let the shoulders move a bit, and the fingers are moving already. Relax the neck by moving your neck a bit. Relax the hips by letting the hips move, toes lift a little bit perhaps. Pelvic floor relax. Let the waist relax by dropping the hips and breathing naturally the abdomen, or maybe rolling the abdomen in synchrony with your fingers. And let the face relax by moving saliva, swallow, jaw, lips, eyes, blink, eyes, roll. Now can you do this with your feet as well? Step 1 foot forward and do the thumb down as the big toe goes down. Then big toe goes up as thumb comes up, and you're moving toes same time as the fingers. Do on one leg for a little bit, change legs, do on the other leg. And gradually, eventually, you'll start to find the toes and the hands work the same. I didn't think it was possible at first, but my son has shown me he can make every toe move individually. It's a matter of practice. Now do it with both legs at the same time. Lovely. And this is simple joint synergy. We can do the same. We can do it all with our ankles, our knees, our hips as well. But you're getting the right idea. Now let's do it with our trunk. Oh, incidentally, these movements, by the way, of the fingers and the wrists, if you're doing it, as the fingers go down, the wrist points towards you, it makes you bend forwards. Fingers go open, wrist points away, makes you bend backward. So the more you relax, the more it feels like your fingers are moving your spine. Your fingers are moving your core. So the fourth stage to transit to is make it happen from the core. So before your fingers go down, palm go down, round out the lower back. Before your thumb and fingers come up, palm open, expand the belly. So go lower back goes back, thumb fingers go down. Pubic bone belly expand, thumb fingers go up. And the later stage, Lower abdomen goes in, lower back goes back, thumb, fingers go down. Pelvic floor expand, belly, chest expand, fingers go up. Lower abdomen softly in, lower abdomen, lower back goes back, upper back goes back, fingers go down. Pelvic floor, abdomen goes out, chest goes up, fingers go up. And lower abdomen, lower back goes back, and upper back goes back. Continue like that. Beautiful. So now, having done this joint synergy, we've done it in our shoulder blades, our elbows, our wrists, our fingers, and our hips. We can also do it in the trunk. So to do it in the trunk, try this. Go the waist first, go expand lower back, round it out. Expand the belly, round it out. Expand lower back, round out. Good to release the lower back pain. Expand belly, expand it, round it out. Now do the same with the upper back. Round out upper back. Then expand the chest. Round out upper back. Expand the chest. That's the linear phase. Now make a fluid phase. Fluid phase, we go expand lower back. Then expand upper back. Keep them expanded. Lift and expand the chest. Lift and expand the abdomen. Expand lower back. Upper back, chest, abdomen. Expand lower back. Upper back, expand chest, expand abdomen. And it helps if you point with your fingers. So I'm pointing to my lower back, it expands. Point to upper back, it expands. Point to chest, it lifts and expands. Point to abdomen, it lifts and expands. And so you just move into an expansive type mode. And it will help also, as you point down, relax and expand the pelvic floor. So pelvic floor, expand, lower back, upper back, expand, chest, abdomen, expand. And so this expansion can really relieve lower back pain and help the blood flow. Soft throat, face and eyes. And then you can work on the flow of the lower abdomen. So if comfortable, you incorporate that feeling that when the lower back lengthens, that's when your lower abdomen should come in. For those who can, it's lower abdomen goes in as the lower back, upper back expands. Lower abdomen goes in as the lower back, upper back expands. Lovely. And you can also work with the neck. So the neck generally is going to have to move. And if I'm looking at you and I'm moving like this, my eyes stay still. But to keep my eyes comfortably still, I'm actually moving my neck. So it's useful to learn how to move the neck. But of course, if you actually move your head in space, you can get dizzy. So this is not for everyone. So what I'll do is I'll show you from the side. You can do it with me if you like, face me. If you bring your head down, move the neck back. Works better. If you bring the head up, move your throat forward. It works better. Why? Try. If you bring the head down, neck back, feels better. Head down, neck forward, makes you feel like a turtle. Head down, neck back, works better. If you bring the head up, throat forward, keeps the neck feeling better. Chin up, neck back, makes your neck feel worse, generally. So when the chin is up, throat forward. So go head down, neck back, throat forward, head up. Head down, neck back, throat forward, head up. It's the musculoskeletal phase. Can we make it fluid? Yes. 1, by not stretching so far, and 2, by doing this. My finger represents what my neck and my chin are simultaneously doing. Bring the head and neck down and back, then chin up slightly and throat forward, chin up. Head down, neck back, up, throat forward, chin up, head down, neck back. Come up, throat forward, chin up, head down, neck back. And in this way then, you're starting to move the neck smoothly. Now relax the fingers and the shoulders. Relax your neck. Relax the hips. Relax your waist. Breathe naturally into the abdomen. Drop the hips. Relax your face. This is not for everyone. Some people get dizzy doing this. So be careful. Go slower if you need. Then release. Okay, so now you've got the idea about how to move the waist, the trunk, the arms. Let's look a little bit at the legs. What we've done with the forearm, you can also do with the legs. And the way I'd like to show you this quickly is by considering the junction, the fluid movement between the upper arm and how it rolls in and out, and the elbow, how it bends and straightens. And once you can get this, which we've done in other sessions, then you can start to understand the legs and how they connect to the ankles and the knees as well. So if you start with your elbows bent and straighten, elbows bend and straighten, 1. Now start with the shoulders, the upper arms, turning in and turning out. Let's combine those two movements. And 2 times 2 is 4, so there's 4 positions you end up in. So start with your elbows bent and your shoulders turned in. And then we're going to go from there to movement number 1 is turn the shoulders out with the elbows bent. Position number 2, or movement 2, is straighten the elbows. Position number 3, turn the shoulders in. Position number 4, bend the elbows. So 1, turn out, 2, straighten. 3, turn in, 4, bend. 1, turn out, 2, straighten. 3, turn in, 4, bend. 1, turn out, 2, straighten. 3, turn in, 4, bend. Can you learn that with your feet? So shift the weight to the right leg, come to the left toe tip. All the weight on your right leg, just the left toe tip for balance, and do the same with your left thigh and knee as you're doing with your elbow and shoulder. So left knee, keep the right knee a bit bent, all the weight in the right leg. Left knee more bent, elbows bent, left thigh turned in, shoulders turned in. So go shoulders and thigh turn out, 1. Elbow and left knee straighten, 2. Shoulder and thigh turn in, 3. Elbow and knee bend, 4. 1, turn out. 2, straighten. 3, turn in. 4, bend. 1, turn out. 2, straighten. 3, turn in. 4, bend. If you want, you could hold the wall with your left hand and lift the left leg off the floor and just do 1, turn out, 2, straighten, 3, turn in, 4, bend on the left leg and the right arm. Ensure your lower back is still rounded outwards, and it helps if you bend slightly forward. And of course, for many people, you don't need the balance on the wall at all. Or you could even put one leg on the floor. And this particular exercise, if the left leg is in the air, it's tremendous for the help of the lower back, releasing the psoas, releasing your parasympathetic nervous system, moving blood, and also helping your left knee strengthen. Because also as you start doing it, you're moving your knee joint, not just straightening and bending, but you're turning your knee in and out. If you're doing the same with your ankle and toes, as you're doing with your wrists and fingers like we did before. So you don't have to do it on the floor. You could just do it on the wall like I was showing, or you could be on the toe tip and just turning like that. Let's change legs. So you go left leg forward, right leg back, and we come to the right toe tip, all the weight in the left leg if you can, and start with right knee bent and turned in, elbows and shoulders turned in, bent. So we go 1, turn out, shoulders and thigh. 2, straighten, elbow and knee. 3, turn in, shoulders and thigh. 4, bend, elbow and knee. 1, turn out. 2, straighten. 3, turn in. 4, bend. Keep going, and if you feel it's easy to do it, you can lift one leg off the floor. Look at the floor for balance, grip with your toes for balance, bend the knees for balance. And you may wish to hold the wall with your right hand, or your left. I use the right, so I've got left hand and right leg doing the same or opposite movements. It may be easier for you to use your other hand, but I'm keeping my lower back rounded out. And another way of doing this for those who are more flexible, apart from balancing in the air, is to put the right hand on the floor and then continue to do it like that. And if you're comfortable, not just move elbow and shoulder and thigh and knee, but also move ankles and toes, elbow and wrists and fingers. And this really helps knee function, hip function, lower back function, and blood flow and nervous system release. Again, while doing it, relax arms, relax your neck, relax waist, relax the hips, relax the face. And come back up, simple version if you wish, on the toe tip or in the air, and then release. Okay, so this idea you can use in many different ways. And once you learn how to move the ankle, so if you see when I move my knee, bend or straighten, I can also turn my shin bone in and out. It looks like it's the ankle that's moving, but in fact it's the knee joint. So when I'm doing these movements of the wrists and also the legs, I'm moving my knee in and out. And that can be a really useful thing. You need that knee in and out movement to do things like this. So if you stand with your knees a bit bent, another movement we can do is knees straighten, almost, not fully. See, not fully. Knees bend, knees straighten. Not fully locked, keep it a bit unlocked. Knees bend, knees straighten. Then with the knees bent, go in and out, in and out. And that movement of in and out is the same as balancing on one leg and turning the shin in and out. You need that movement. And in its extreme form, that would be doing postures like this one, which in some yoga classes you call Bhagasana, or this position, which is called Khandasana, both very difficult positions, but really it's required to have the foot able to bend in a way that when your knee bends, your knee can go one way while your toes are going the other way. Like that. Your ability to do that is a knee function which you need to train. So by doing these movements of the leg on the wall like I did before, same as your arm, that trains your knee to be actually more mobile and strong. And it helps fix up knee problems. It also helps fix up weakness and improves blood flow to your knee. It's very, very good for you. Okay? So when we're standing, we can also include this movement of coming in a circle like this. So bend the knees, straighten the knees, linear. Bend the knees in, knees out, linear. Then we go in a circle. Go knees in, back, straighten, outward, bend, inward, straighten, outward, bend, and you start to move the knees in a tiny little circle. So as you're doing this, of course, it's moving your ankles and your hips. This makes the thighs turn in, this makes the thighs turn out. And as you're doing it, what's happening is if you relax while doing it, so lengthen your fingers, but relax the arms, relax your neck, relax your pelvic floor, your hips, relax your waist, breathe into the abdomen, and relax your face. Then notice that the thigh movements, the knee movements are making your spine bend forward and backward. So let it happen. When your thighs turn in and move back, it makes you bend forward. When your thighs turn out and go forward, it makes you bend back. So round out your lower back before you move back. Round out your lower back, turn your thighs in, go back. Like that. And then if we know that's happening from the core now you can make the core work better if you pull your lower abdomen in first before rounding out the lower back. So I go lower abdomen in, thighs roll in, lower back goes back, thighs roll in. I go lower abdomen in, lower back back, thighs roll in. Then pubic bone, belly expand, thighs roll out, and etc. like that. Then I'm moving my core, then my trunk, then my thighs. Lovely. So how can you bring this all together? Well, let's try and bring it all together. Don't think too much. Just follow my movements. Every time I click, it means I'm adding something extra. I'll point and I might say a little bit. So just start. Think, meditative practice. Make it sustainable, less or more than me, so you can keep it sustainable. Make it engaging, so it's interesting but not too exciting. So it's calming but not too boring. Be here and now. Be engaged in the activity. Make it calming. So look for signs of moving away from heart racing or stress. Don't think too much. Don't try and add too much. Make it effortless. No pain, no suffering. In fact, even less effort. But make it flow and move blood. So add what you can. And if comfortable, you add more. If you're finding it difficult, take away and only do one thing. Gradually, you can do all those things together. Not just on both legs. And if you do all these things together on both legs, then it makes the spine go bend forward and backward and up and down. But if you only did with one hand, then the movements become side bending and twisting. So let's explore and experiment a little bit. A few minutes of dynamic meditative practice, which can be really good to enhance all levels of health on a physical, physiological, mental level. Start in the meditative static position. So Arms by the side or out in front, knees a bit bent, and lengthen. Fingers between the shoulders and the neck. Drop the hips, relax the abdomen. Open the front of the hips and the lower back, between the shoulder blades. Lengthen back of neck and front of neck. Now, prepare. Relax the arms. Relax the neck. Relax the hips and pelvic floor. Relax your waist. Relax your face. And joint synergy for your fingers. More relax. Arms. Neck. Hips, pelvic floor. Waist. Face. Feel it move from the core. Feel the core move from the wrists and fingers moving. Feel them. Once the fingers move, notice the effect on the core when you relax and start to make the core move first perhaps, or not. Keep this activity in the background if you want, or stop it. Now do the wrist circle. And again in the wrist circle, relax the arms, fingers and shoulders. Relax your neck. Relax the pelvic region, pelvic floor, like about to go to the toilet, but not. Now relax the waist. Hips have dropped, but the belly breathes naturally or rolls. Now relax the face, saliva, jaw, lips, eyes blink, roll. Now move the forearms up and down. You can, if you wish, skip the fingers and wrists and just do the forearms. But if comfortable, add the forearms, bending and straightening, palm up, palm down. And again, while doing it, could be a new activity or an additional activity. Relax the arms. Relax the neck. Relax the hips and pelvic floor. Relax the waist, breathe naturally. Relax the face. Feel how the relaxation makes your core move forward. Can you reverse engineer the elbow movement from the core perhaps a little bit more? And prepare for a new activity, or keep these activities going and add on the new activity. Now, forget the arms, the wrists, the fingers. Let them go by themselves or let them go completely. And now we make the figure 8 of the upper arms. Elbows back and out, forward and up and down. And now the upper arms and the elbows are making the shape of a figure 8. And as you're doing it, maybe you retain the movement of the fingers, the wrists and the forearms, maybe not. And as you're doing it, relax the arms, relax your neck. Relax the pelvic floor, hips and toes. Relax your waist, breathe naturally, let the abdomen roll if it's comfortable. Relax the face. And feel the more you relax, the more the core wants to move. Now if you can, reverse engineer the upper arm movement from the core. And now prepare to do a new activity. You can stop the ones you're doing Or you can add on to what you're doing depending on your level. Let's work on the shoulders. Let the shoulders roll. You can just roll by themselves, or you can let the elbows move still in their figure eight, the forearms in their up, down, the wrists and fingers in their circle and piano play. And as you're doing the shoulder movement, relax your arms more. Relax your neck. Relax around the hips. Relax the waist. Keep lengthening the lower back. Breathe into the abdomen. Relax the face. Now, prepare for a new activity, an additional activity. Go slower if you wish. Let's do the hips. Lower back, backward and up. Pubic bone down and forward. Lower back, backward and up. Pubic bone down and forward. Go slower if you wish, or faster if you like. And you can add on to what you've been doing, like I'm doing, or you just focus on the hips and give the rest a rest. But while you're going, relax the fingers and the shoulders and the arms relax. And relax the neck, make it move a little bit perhaps. Relax the hips by letting them move, and the pelvic floor and the toes. Relax the waist, let the lower back stay lengthening as you move. Let the abdomen breathe naturally, or roll. Now relax the face, jaw, lips, eyes. Now maybe you can also add on gently, or as a separate activity, the knees. So the knees can turn inwards as you come up, turn outwards on the way down. Not much, it mustn't feel uncomfortable. Very gentle. And you can do that as an activity by itself. Make sure there's no discomfort, or you can add on to whatever else you've got already. And as you're moving the knees, think relax the arms. Relax your neck. Relax the pelvis. Relax the pelvic floor, relax the waist, breathe naturally. Go slower if it helps. Even one circumference every 12 seconds is a good amount, even slower. I'll go slower. Relax the abdomen, breathe into the abdomen naturally. Or roll the abdomen if it's easy for you. But make sure the abdomen's soft and easy to breathe there. Now relax the face. Prepare for a new activity or an additional activity. Lengthen lower back, upper back. Expand chest, abdomen. Lengthen lower back, upper back. Expand chest, abdomen. And continue. So making it a separate new activity or an additional activity. And as you're doing it, check the arms are relaxed, fingers and shoulders. Neck is relaxed. Pelvic floor relaxed. Waist relaxed. You can breathe naturally. I'm not feeling any increased heart rate, but I'm feeling warmth and relaxed, like being in a warm bath, being massaged by someone who really loves you. No one can object to that. Imagine being in a warm bath, being massaged by someone who really loves you. Make that the practice. Relax your face. Each part you think of moves the blood to that part. As you think of it relaxing, the blood moves to it and you get good energy, loving information. Now if comfortable, feel how the core is leading the movements. So the lower back goes back first. But if you can, add the lower abdomen going in first before the lower abdomen goes first. So just when you feel the weight go over the toes, it can trigger the lower abdomen to push in before the lower back goes back. Remember to expand the pelvic floor as you come up. Open the anal mouth and it sucks the energy up. Now if comfortable, move the neck as well. Head down, neck back, and then throat forward, chin up. Head down, neck back, belly expand, chest expand, throat forward, chin up last. Round out lower back, upper back, head down, neck back last. And you continue. And while doing these movements, slower or faster, you can choose to do it either in a short spine, or if comfortable, lift and lengthen in a long spine. If you wish, you bend forward and do it slightly more bended forward. We go to the simple spinal postures. If comfortable, move the hips forward, lean slightly back and lengthen the front, bending gently backwards. Then drop your right hip, drop your left hip rather, lift the left shoulder, do the same thing, lengthening the left side, like a side bend. Now drop the right hip, lift the right shoulder, and move more on the right side, lengthen. So the trunk has been lengthened on the right side, but you're still moving the joints. Now twist the core to your right and do it in a simple twist to the right. From the weight shifting back and forth from left leg to right. Now twist the weight toward the left side and go twist. And feel the whole thing happen in a gentle twist. And now lengthen the right side while twisting to the right side. Gently, very soft movement. Now lengthen the left side while twisting to the left side. Move actively, move from your core, breathe naturally and move fluidly. And come back to the center, maybe experiment with one leg at the same time, doing the same as the hands. Go slower if it's easier, perhaps with the leg in the air. Change legs. Maybe just do the right arm. Let the right arm finish, then do the left arm. Do the right arm, then the left arm. And it's a little bit like swimming. And feel how doing alternate arms gives you side bend and twist. Make it sustainable, engaging, calming, effortless, invigorating. Are you feeling warm, pain-free? Go back to two arms. Move actively from your core, breathing naturally, moving fluidly, and then come back to a simple position and move the arms forward, outward, downward, inward. As the arms move forward, move the fingers. Arms move outward, relax the shoulders. Arms move downwards, check the neck is relaxed. Arms move inwards, pelvic floor, face relaxed. Pause when the hands are close. See if you can feel the energy between the hands now. And drop the hands and come to a standing or seated meditative position with the arms in the air on your knees. And lengthen and relax arms, neck, hips and pelvic floor, waist, face. Stay there or go easier, lie on your back if you wish. Or stand, your arms by the side, knees less bent. Just a little bit knees bent so your hips can drop. Relax and lengthen fingers and shoulders, neck, pubic bone, waist, pelvic floor, waist, abdomen, face. Be still, close your eyes, draw inwards, and be here and now. Transition from the dynamic external meditative practice to the static internal practice. But the meditative state still has energy, good energy and loving information. It should feel like it's still circulating inside you, touching every part equally, nourishing, like being in a warm bath, being evenly and gently massaged by someone who really loves you. Be here and now, inwardly still, calm and quiet, in body, breath and mind. Lengthen, release. Open and expand. And come gently back down. You can sit in a meditative state as long as you wish. Or finish. Thank you. Thank you very much.